Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Talking with Lee. I'm back at it with another video here. Today, we're going to be talking about everything investing for beginners. If you know me, we talk about personal finance, credit strategy, investing, and wealth building, and I'm here to bridge that gap. Today, we're on investing, so that's what we're going to be focusing on. We got 5 main topics that we're ready to go over. Catch you guys in a second. So, what actually is the stock market? It's the $1,000,000 question, and everybody has another answer, everybody has another opinion, but to me, the stock market is when you buy or sell ownership in a company. And for example, when you buy a portion of a company, you have ownership in that. So think companies like Apple, think companies like Tesla, think companies like Home Depot, Walmart, more and more and more and more. Think companies like that. All of these companies have a specific share price on the market. And you and I, regular people, can go out and purchase a share, a portion of a share, as much of a share as we want in a company that we believe in. Use Apple, for example. Everybody and their mom knows somebody who has an Apple iPhone or, somebody with an Apple product. And if you don't, you probably know somebody that knows somebody. So Apple's a perfect example. They drop a new phone, all the hype is around it, it's innovative, it's perfect, it's nice, it's all these things, and the sales go great. And let's say that you bought a share of Apple for $1. And when they dropped their iPhone 5G back in the day, let's say you bought 4 shares for $1. You own 4 full shares of Apple for $4, $1 a piece, 4 full shares. Now, Apple's stock price is at $259. That same $4 investment you made will have now turned into $1,036. And that is the power of investing. When their sales go up and their revenues go up, your stock price has a chance to go up. There also is an inverse to that we will talk about in depth, but this is the slice of ownership and this is the basis of the stock market that you must understand before you start investing. All right, guys, so we're gonna go into our second section now, and it's why is investing important? I'll tell you why. Because saving money alone isn't enough to build wealth. Yeah, you can save money to, purchase some things that you may want. You can save money to, maybe purchase a house. But to build wealth, we're not going to get there by saving. Inflation makes our money worth less over time. And that's the reason why we need to invest. Let's take it like this. An inflation rate is around 3% per year. So that means your bank account, your money sitting in your bank account, is slowly losing purchasing power over time. We'll put this image up on the screen here. Let's say I have $10,000 in a checking account. That same $10,000 in 20 years will be worth roughly $5,500, as opposed to if I have the same $10,000 with no extra investment in the market, which is the stock market, and that stock market earns around 8 to 10% per year on average, that money will then change to $46,000. That's a $36,000 increase on our initial investment. And guess what? We're beating inflation too. So this is the best of both worlds, and this is the main reason why you need to understand investing is better than saving. We're not keeping our money in shoe boxes. We're not keeping our money in checking accounts. There's even some savings accounts that earn 2 to 3%, but the market on average is much better. And again, not a financial advisor, just giving you tips and tricks that I hope you guys do your own research about and learn from as well. All right, guys, so on to our next section, and this is going to be a pretty short and sweet section. It's pretty much why I chose Fidelity. Fidelity is pretty elite to me, but it's all I know. So you have many brokerages out there, Vanguard, Robinhood, Charles Schwab. But the reason why I really love Fidelity is, number one, my 401k is in there. So my company 401k is in Fidelity. So it only makes sense to utilize that. Number two, Fidelity offers 0 commission trades. And number three, Fidelity also allows you to buy fractional shares. Buying fractional shares changes the game because a lot of people don't have the capital to buy a full share every time they invest. So, being able to deposit, 175, 60, 50, 300, 500 per check whatever works for somebody is really powerful. And you're able to still purchase and get into the market, and that creates the habit, and that is what creates the wealth. So again, not a financial advisor, but I enjoy Fidelity. You can do pretty much everything on it. Fractional shares are amazing on there. So, go with who you want. You guys do your research, but that's why I use Fidelity. All right, guys. So this section is pretty big. So I hope you guys have been enjoying. If you've been enjoying it so far, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. It really helps the community grow. And I want to build a collaborative community. So feel free to leave any of those if you would like. But getting into it, this is simple. It's individual stocks versus ETFs. And when speaking about this, we're going to start on the individual stocks because that's what we all know. We always pass a Tesla on the road. We always look at Home Depot. We always go in Walmart. We always look at these. We always see an Apple product being advertised. Like, those are individual stocks. And naturally, when a beginner is starting, yeah, I'm just going to invest in Apple. I'm just going to invest in Home Depot because, that's all I see. And, that's the natural emotion. So if that's you, don't feel any way about that. It's a way to get in. But once you get in the game, you realize you can get hurt in the game. So that same Apple scenario I showed you guys, $1,036 made from $4. Now imagine if Apple's product, has a bad battery, or it's, linked to something bad, and they get something bad in the press. Boom, it's going down. It's going down. So that $1,036 that you had is now $636. You lost $400. Yeah, you may still be up on your initial investment, and that shows you the power of investing, but you have to realize there is some risk when you put all your eggs in one basket. And the way to diversify your eggs and put your eggs in multiple baskets is simple. Get an ETF. And there's a lot of ETFs out there, specifically one that we're going to be doing the $3 a day challenge in, the ETF VOO, and it tracks the S&P 500. What's the S&P 500, guys? 500 of the largest companies in the United States of America, condensed down. And what does VOO do? It tracks 500 companies. So if you buy one full share, if you buy half a share, you own a portion of the 500 companies in America. And to me, that's pretty good. That's called diversification. You don't want all your eggs in Apple, because if Apple goes down, all your money goes down. You want some money in energy. You want some money in oil. You want some money in tech. You want some money in every facet of the market. So the way that you do that is invest in the ETFs that track the S&P 500. We're going to get into like specific portfolio builds, but like this is a really good main key point that you want to take away is, yeah, the individual stocks are good and they're going to help me grow the fastest, but what's going to give me steady long-term growth that will, eventually make me a millionaire is an ETF. Both are very important in the portfolio, but they play two different roles. So again, ETF combines, specifically VOO ETF, combines the S&P 500, top 500 companies, largest companies in the United States of America, and it tracks those companies. So you own Home Depot, you own Tesla, you own Google, you own Apple, you own all of those companies in one ETF, as opposed to one individual stock. You only own that company. All right, guys, so this leads us to the last part of this video, and it's the $3 a day challenge. I mentioned VOO, and a lot of people think, $3 isn't enough to start investing, but you need thousands and more. But it's all about consistency. And I want you guys to develop consistency before we increase our number. If somebody can show me they're consistent, they'll naturally increase their number. Ask me how I know. So, $3 is nothing but $90 a month. $90 a month is nothing but $1,095 a year. If you consistently invest that money into something like a broad market ETF, and let it grow over time, the results are very powerful. And the goal of this challenge is to show that anyone can start building wealth, even if you start small. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We're gonna walk through a video probably tomorrow on starting our investment journey. So I hope you guys started with me. I'm very excited. Thank you for sticking around for another video. And until the next time, Talking with Lee, guys.